Well, hello and welcome to the All Things Leeds Podcast, or the ATL Podcast. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching or listening from. This is episode 4, and it is the Christmas special as well. Nothing really special about this episode in terms of content, but it's the last one before Christmas, so let's make it a Christmas special. I'm Ed, please say I'm joined by Charles Foster as always. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be in new surroundings.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a moment. But in this episode, we will be talking about Leeds' 1-0 win away at Bolton Wanderers at the weekend. That made it 5 wins in a row. We will also give our thoughts on the news that Saiz will be leaving Leeds United to join Getafe on loan. We'll also look at the Leeds United U23s as they lost 2-0 to Barnsley at Thorpe Arch on Monday. There was a shock there, but Izzy Brown, he limped off injured, so we'll see if that's serious or not. And then we've got a few games to preview as, like I said, it's the last episode before Christmas, but also the last episode 2018 as well, so quite a lot of matches to preview. So all that is coming up. Now, before we dive into the Leeds United chat, let me just say, on behalf of me and Charles here, thank you to Pop Sport, the home of the LS11 podcast, home of Talking Shut, also the home of Bielsa Rhapsody as well. They're letting us use their studio to record this podcast this morning, so thank you very much to them. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bielsa Rhapsody, great tune. Charles, you were sat in the chair where Mickey P. Kerr sang that as well.
I'm honoured. If you haven't already downloaded it as well, do download it. It is very good. Yeah,
Bielsa Rhapsody, it's a song on iTunes. Hit the iTunes store last Thursday, I believe. You can download it for 99p, and all the money goes to the Forget Me Not Children's Hospice. So something to feel nice about around Christmas. You should definitely download it.
Absolutely. It's well worth listening to. Some of the lyrics are very funny, especially about Heckingbottom, but I'll leave that to you to enjoy that by yourselves.
It's a good song. So make sure you download it. All money going to a great cause, but thank you very much, Proper Sport, for letting us use the studio. But let's get into it, shall we? And you know what? Before we review Leeds' 1-0 win over Bolton, we'll talk about Samuel Saiz because, of course, he missed the game last Saturday. He saw the club that he was unhappy in England and wanted to return to Spain, his home country, and the club gave him permission to speak to the Liga side Getafe. So he travelled there, had a medical, and the deal has been agreed. He will remain in Madrid until his loan spell with Getafe starts on January the 1st with an option to buy. But it might be a loan, but we probably won't see Samuel Saiz in a Leeds shirt again.
I'd be very surprised if we saw Saiz in a Leeds shirt again. And I think the reason the club have opted to put him on a loan to buy deal is purely to get him out of Thorpe Arch before January, because if we just agreed to sell him, then he wouldn't leave. He wouldn't leave Thorpe Arch till at the earliest 1st of January. And I think the club probably feel he might be a bit of a disturbing influence on a really kind of crucial period of the season over Christmas. If you want to do well in the Championship, Christmas is the time to do it, really. You need to pick up a few wins because there's a lot of games in a row. I think we've got 4 games in 8 days over between the 23rd and the 1st.
Yeah.
So we need to be picking up some wins there, especially given the games against Blackburn and Hull aren't the games that you need to be winning if you want to get top 2 as well. They're not Derby or Forest obviously we've got Villa already coming up next, but we don't have hugely difficult games.
Yeah, right. Important games that you'd expect Leeds United to win. But yeah, like I said, Christmas is such an important time. It makes or breaks your season really. I read a stat the other day was like, if the top team, the team who have been first in the Championship on Christmas Day have been promoted in the past few seasons.
That's a jinxing stat. That is.
It's written in the stars for Leeds to
finish 7th.
To finish 7th. Finish 7th on goal difference as well.
Yeah, it's just something. Just gut-wrenching like that will definitely happen.
Yeah, but you definitely don't want players who are upset at the club, and credit to the club as well. I mean, apparently it's for family reasons, so no complaints there. Families always come first, so credit to the club for sorting it out quickly.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumour about it. I'm sure there probably is some element of family reasons to it, but what isn't in dispute is the fact he's not happy. So yeah, respect to the club for sorting out for family reasons, but we want players who want to be here, really.
Yeah, you want players who want to be here. If they're unhappy, they could upset the changing room. And like I say, an important time at Christmas, and we're in such a good place as well. We don't want distractions such as players not wanting to be here?
No, we need to maintain our hold on the top two, really. We're about to enter a difficult run of fixtures. We've got Derby coming up, we've got Forest coming up, we've got a huge number of games in January which aren't the easiest. We've got Norwich coming up as well in early February. We need to set ourselves on to get. Well, obviously we're already on good momentum at the moment, having 5 wins in a row, but we need to kind of maintain that, because if we can ride out January and February, I think we'll be absolutely fine. I saw our last game of the season is Ipswich Town, who are rock bottom of the Championship. You'd like to think we'd have the league tied up by then, but you know,
hopefully. we always seem to. It's a hard trip, Ipswich away.
How Leeds would it be though to go Ipswich away, needing a win to win the league, and then failing to win and finishing third, and then losing the playoff final?
that would be awful. But yeah, Samuel Saiz, Getafe bound, La Liga bound. Who'll be playing against the likes of Lionel Messi and all that. But best of luck to Samuel Saiz. But we'll miss him though, won't we? It's a massive loss for Leeds, Samuel Saiz.
Yeah, I mean, ability-wise, he's always had the ability to kind of change a game up, find a pass, pick the right option when attacking forward. He's had a few problems though. His shooting's not very good. His attitude has let him down on occasion. He gets in a lot of trouble with Championship referees because he kicks off a lot. But you get those kind of players do tend to be kind of drama queens to an extent. They and a little bit petulant, but he always had the talent. And several games this season, Bristol City at home comes to mind, where we were kind of just surviving it out, expecting the 0-0, and then obviously the red card went in our favour. But we also brought him and Jack Clark on, and we saw a huge change in the tempo of the game. So he does definitely add something to the team.
Yeah, I think there's like mixed opinions on him. Some people are saying Samuel Saiz, he won't be that big a loss. He wasn't getting him a squad at all anyway, and he hasn't really been on form. But he's like, when he is on form, he is one of the best players in the division.
I'd agree with that, and I disagree with the first thing you said. I think he is a good player, and he does help us out on occasion. Like, if you notice against Bolton, obviously we're going to go into this in more detail in a bit, so I'll just briefly say that we did struggle a little bit to open up the midfield without him.
Yeah, it will be a big miss. He's a cracking player, but we haven't seen him on form for ages. But does he need replacing in the January transfer window, do you feel?
Yeah, for me he does. But I don't expect us to replace him, but I'd like us to replace him, because we're always thin on the ground with this squad because we've only got 2 players per position. And even though we've got loads of central midfielders, we don't have many outright number 10s. We've got 3, or we had 3 at the start of the season. Saiz, who we've let go. We've got Izzy Brown, who is injured and currently not fit. And we've got Lewis Baker, who appears to be not really showing what he can do.
Lewis Baker. We'll get on to Lewis Baker in a bit, because he played so poor against Bolton. Another opportunity wasted, in my opinion. But I feel as though we'll need to replace him. So do you. Who would you bring in though? There's been 3 rumours: Joe Lolly, Forest. But who's out there, do you think?
I think the players like Joe Lolly and Bradley Dack and people like that will cost Leeds so much money they won't go for it. I think both players will cost. They'll probably be between 10 and 15 million pounds to get one of them. And I don't think, especially because Leeds are not getting the Saiz money until August, or to the end of the season, not August. I don't think we'll spend huge money on a player.
I mean, you say, we won't get Saiz money till August. He's on loan with an option to buy, so they may not want to buy him.
That would be. That'd be a weird situation to be in, because he wouldn't want to be here. Leeds fans wouldn't really want him here because he doesn't want to be here. He would have to be sold.
Yeah, what do you think about him? 6 million? You feel as though he's probably worth a bit more than that?
You'd like to think so in today's market, but he hasn't scored many goals. His stats aren't brilliant. He's only got 4 assists this season. For an attacking midfielder, you'd expect more than that. I mean, Mateusz Klik's been playing as a kind of a linking player, and he's got 5 goals and 5 assists. He's done much better stats than Saiz. I think 6 million's about right for him. We bought him for 3.
Yeah, his value's definitely gone up since.
We've made our money back and made a bit of profit. Yeah. Move on, buy someone else.
Yeah, I guess it's just like with Saiz, it's like what could have been really with his time at Leeds, but he's moving on. Izzy Brown, he's there, but I feel as though he'll need replacing. But again, it's another transfer, and Leeds probably won't be making many signings in January at all. I mean, there's a rumour as well with a goalkeeper. We could be signing Caldala from Newcastle. That could be a good signing. Also
injured though. He's got an elbow injury. He'll be out until probably midway through January.
We always just seem to be interested in players who are injured. Forshaw came to us and he was injured. Blackman he got injured, but Izzy Brown, we've got him and he was already injured.
Roberts was injured when we signed him, and then re-injured himself in training.
It's bizarre, really.
We just seem a bit cursed with injuries this season.
Doesn't look good. But let's move on to Leeds' 1-0 win against Bolton on Saturday. Of course, we were missing Samuel Saiz. So Lewis Baker started in midfield, who we will get onto in a bit. He did go off at half-time, so we'll get more in depth when we get to that part of the match. But Bielsa went with 4-1-4-1, which I know it's like, I say it's like my favourite formation, but I was a bit surprised because I feel as though without Samuel Saiz, we can't, that formation don't really work, as well as it could do. So were you surprised that we used 4-1-4-1? I
wasn't surprised. I knew that Bolton only played one up front. I expected them to play the way they did. I thought they were very toothless anyway, but I expected us to play 4-1-4-1 because they only play one striker. And you say that we can't play the 4-1-4-1 without Saiz, but
I just don't think it's as effective.
Well, it might not be. That may well be true. But the 3-3-1-3 also counts on the Saiz type player, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We need it in every formation. The Ungaunch, as Bielsa calls it, is crucial to the team. We need him, or not him specifically in Saiz. We need someone to do that role. We don't really play without someone who's pressing on the edge of the opponent's 18-yard box, trying to force errors and force opportunities. And to an extent, Pablo Hernandez does that as well. But he's much more of I think Bielsa much prefers Hernandez on the wing, drawing players away from the centre.
Yeah, but formation, team selection seemed to be working fine for us in the early stages. I did watch the match. I managed to find a stream. You watched it as well, Charles, didn't you?
I watched it from 20 minutes onwards because they took that long to add me into the group after filling out the the questions on Facebook. But
Leeds Media is on Facebook if you ever want to try and find a stream. But yeah, so take my word on it then. In the early stages, it seemed to be working well for us. Pablo Hernandez, he missed a good opportunity on the 3-minute mark when Alioski's cross found Pablo free in the box. His header was just tipped over by Alnwick. But again, fast start really. We're playing some decent football, but it got to around 10-minute mark, and after that, it was just the most awful game of football I have seen for a long, long time. We
were just giving the ball away a huge amount. I mean, from what I saw, I watched the extended highlights as well, and I saw it from 20 minutes onwards. We just, every single time we got into a good position, we would give the ball away. I remember one point we had an opportunity to break early in the first half, and Lewis Baker, all he had to do was knock it in front of Jamie Shackleton to run onto, and he blasted it into the back of Shackleton's legs, and Bolton immediately counter-attacked and won a corner. It was just a game of mistakes. I mean, I'm sure the weather played a part in it because the weather was dreadful. But
yeah, well, cold, wind, rain. It was awful.
It was just a sloppy game. We were just. I watched Patrick Bamford's post-match interview, and I was interested to hear. He said that he made the comment and then he withdrew it, obviously because he thought it was too strong, but you could tell it was what he was actually thinking. He said basically they went in at half-time and a few of the players were saying, we've just wasted 45 minutes, and I'm of that opinion. I think they did waste 45 minutes.
So am I. We were giving the ball away a lot. Both teams as well struggled to make any chances, really. It was just so sloppy. It was an awful football match in the first half. So half-time, Bielsa, he made one change. He brought off Lewis Baker, who had an awful first half. And again, like I said earlier, it's another chance for him that he's just wasted.
Yeah, he got caught on the ball a lot, and Forshaw did as well, and Forshaw arguably forced the only opportunity of the game for Bolton to get into it when he laid the most hospital back pass of all time when he passed it back and nearly forced a penalty late in the second half. But yeah, Baker was just losing the ball constantly. His passing was sloppy. He attempted to run at players but never really got past them. He was a bit of a I hate to say this, but a bit of a dead shirt. He didn't really appear to be contributing anything. He was a bit of a passenger.
Yeah.
He appeared to just be kind of, and he dragged. He kind of dragged Click back as well because he was making that many mistakes that Click couldn't afford to be further forward than as far forward as he would like to be. Cost us chance creation as well.
Yeah, Lewis Baker, it was awful at first half. Probably won't be starting for a while now. I guess as well, going back onto the Saiz and whether we need a replacement, because Baker's been performing so poor, another chance wasted really. I guess it shows that we really do need a replacement with Saiz, seen as though we don't. Probably one less option there now.
Yeah, he's not the only loanee that's been not as good as we were expecting, because Jack Harrison hasn't been exceptional, has he, when he's played? I mean, apart from, I think he was good in the Preston game at home that we went to, the 3-0 win. He was good in that, but largely he just seems to lack the kind of initiative and get up and go that Jack Clark's got, and Jack Clark's about 5 years younger than him.
Yeah, but Jack Clark, he was brilliant. As he always is, really. He just brings something different to the game and to the team, really.
Yeah, he's more than happy to run at people and make opportunities. He's just always trying to run past people. I mean, you think as a winger that would be your, apart from whipping balls in, your number one job is to try and round the fullback. But it's amazing how few wingers we have at the club that actually do that. I mean, because it's not really Hernandez's style. He likes to either skill past them or trying to work his way through the middle. Alioski doesn't really attempt take-ons very often at all. He often tries the inside option. But yeah, Jack Clark's one player that always, he doesn't do that many skill. He's not the most skillful player I've ever seen.
No, he's not the most skillful, but it's like, he's always cutting inside, which is great. But it's like, he runs at players with.
He's fast, which gives him a bit of an advantage over tired fullbacks.
Yeah, versatile as well. He can play either right or left. He can drop back a bit. We'll get onto the goal in a second, Patrick Bamford's goal. But Jack Clark in that goal was just running at the defence, and I'm just such a big fan of him. Really, for Jack Clark. But it wasn't a much better second half. Better, decent, better performance really from Leeds. But it wasn't the greatest of games. And the first half just bored me so much. I kind of just zoned out really. My dad was asleep on the sofa at half time. That shows you how boring it was. It was an awful game. But 61 minutes rolls around. Kemar Roof. He goes off a straight swap for Patrick Bamford, who of course made his return. But were you surprised with that substitution? No, a straight swap.
I wasn't surprised actually, because I knew Bamford had been on the bench for a couple of games. He was clearly, Bielsa saw him as being match fit. He scored a few goals for the under-23s in midweek. He looked like he was confident, raring to go. And I thought Roof struggled in the game. He was kind of essentially marked out the game, really, because the problem with the 4-1-4-1 is if the midfielder's out far enough forward, then you just punt in the ball to Roof, who's then got to dribble through an entire team, which happened quite a lot in that first half. Whereas, and if you punt in the ball to someone who's 5'9", you're going to struggle. But Bamford's 6'2", so he wins. I noticed he won a lot more aerial balls. Once we came on, we would get a lot more attacks, because every time we would whip a ball forward, about half the time, Bamford would knock it on for Clark, or he would knock it on for Alioski, or he would hold it up. He would just succeed a lot more, which allowed us to get further up the pitch. And we were dominating from the period of about 50 minutes to 65 minutes. We did spend quite a lot of time on the edge of their box through bits of play like that. We did end up whipping the ball in quite a few times, winning a couple of corners. We were quite concerted pressure early in the second half.
Yeah. But yeah, I felt as though with that sub, I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing Kemar Roof and Patrick Bamford play together. Probably never will, though. Yeah,
I don't think we will, which is a shame, because it would be nice to see him play together. That might be
unless, though, with Samuel Saiz missing, Roof could play number 10. He's more than capable of playing there.
He's not brilliant as number 10, though, is he? Bamford has played number 10 in the past when he's been on loan at different places, so you could always put him there.
You kind of look at Bamford and you're like, he's a number 9, not a number 10.
Yeah, you would say that, but yeah, I mean, it could be a possibility. I mean, Bielsa's not against experimentation, but I can't see him changing the. I mean, apart from Baker, I can't really see him changing the attacking lineup that much.
Yeah,
he tends to be quite persistent. I mean, almost annoyingly persistent at times with some players, but and Bielsa we trust. As long as we're winning games, I'm not going to moan.
Yeah,
I'd quite happily win every game 1-0 to the end of the season with a bad first half.
But anyway, Patrick Bamford comes on for Kemar Roof, making his first senior appearance for 4 months. So it's great to see him back, and see him back so soon as well.
Yes, all credit to the medical staff. They've really put the work in with him. Bamford's clearly been training and working hard. His teammates like Izzy Brown has been saying he's worked really hard. Cooper said he's worked really hard to get back in the team. And you can't blame him, because, especially in the Championship, when you've got a £7 to £10 million price tag hanging over your head, and you've been out injured for 4 months, you kind of want to kick on, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't want to be sitting behind Roof, who's been at the club for 2 seasons. As much as there's probably friendly competition there, they want to push each other out of the team, which is good for us, because competition breeds good performances. But Yeah, he's got his first goal in the league for the club. Obviously, got his first goal for the club against Bolton as well in the cup.
So second goal against Bolton.
He likes playing against Bolton. Not as much as Kemaru likes playing against QPR, but
same thing really. But you said, credit to physio team, and it really is. Of course, Bamford he made an impact straight away. Scores within 5 minutes to put Leeds United 1-0 ahead. Back with a bang is Patrick Bamford. But we'll get onto the actual goal in a moment. But I love Bamford's celebration. Running over to the Leeds dugout and hugging the physio Rob Price. It was an emotional moment, really, for seeing that.
Yeah, warmed even my icy heart.
It must mean a lot for not just Patrick Bamford, but Rob Price as well.
Well, it must make his job worth it, because he can see that there's rewards for the efforts that he's putting into these players, that he's getting them back fit, and they're coming back stronger than they were before.
Yeah, I'm stronger so soon as well.
Yeah, because we weren't expecting Bamford until
in a year.
I think he said in his interview he wasn't expecting to be back until the FA Cup game.
Yeah.
Against, well, he didn't know what the game was at the time, but he said the third round of the FA Cup.
And he's back a month early.
Yeah, almost a month early. It's excellent work. I mean, I did see something on Phil Hayes' Twitter timeline today saying that Bamford is still playing with a little bit of pain because of the way his muscles healed. That his pain probably won't go away because his scar tissue won't go away for until another month has gone by. So he'll still be playing with a little bit of a niggle. So it might be bench appearances for a while for him. But I'm happy for him to come on every game on the hour mark and make a difference. I mean, if Roof's not cutting it, then why not give Bamford a go? I mean, he's clearly up for it. The only thing is you don't want to get him re-injured, because that would be really, really bad.
You don't want it to be like, he's back so soon, great, but you don't want it to, you don't want the chance that he's probably rushed and with just a little knock he could be out for much longer. There's a risk of that happening. Yeah,
there's always a risk of re-injury when you're coming back early for players. You get some players, like I remember Simon Grayson once said about Luciano Becchio that he used to, if he got injured on the Saturday, he'd rule him out on the Sunday and he'd be back fit the following Saturday. He had an unbelievable amount of just ability to recover from injuries, whereas some players, like Wilshere in the Premier League, who seems to be perpetually injured, he never seems to be back fit, always seems to have a niggle of some kind. But some players heal much quicker and much faster than others. So you'd say that Bamford appears to have recovered faster, but you don't want him re-injuring himself or
definitely not,
or playing 90 minutes until he's totally ready to play 90 minutes.
But like I said, credit to Rob Price, the physio, and the rest of the fitness team, and Patrick Bamford as well, for working so hard to
he's clearly put the effort in.
And like I said, he made a massive impact straight away. 5 minutes, scores a goal, put Leeds United 1-0 ahead, and like I said, he's back with a bang.
It was it actually came off a Bolton attack. They ran down our left side, and I think Douglas was a bit far forward, so Phillips covered him, didn't he? And won the ball quite fortunately. It was a bit of a weird challenge, but he did win the ball fairly. Even Bolton, who were moaning the entire game about penalty decisions, but we'll get onto that later. He won the ball back, and he laid it off down the wing to Jack Clarke, who ran about 40 yards.
I just love the entire goal. Phillips winning it, playing through Jack Clarke, and Jack Clarke, he doesn't have a care in the world. He's just going to run with the ball as far as he can and running up the position. It was great to see.
Yeah, he laid it off to Click in the middle, didn't he? Click found Pablo, and then Pablo nutmegged the Jacobs, the defender,
just for nutmeg as well,
with a filthy assist.
And then Patrick Bamford, first touch, bang, back at net, a striker's finish. It was a great goal. Yeah,
he said when they asked him about the goal that he said that goalkeeping coaches and that have told him that goalkeepers like for attackers to take touches in the box because it gives them time to get into position. But if you take your shot first time, you've always got a chance of it going in. And you saw it because he caught him dead on his feet. They caught the goalkeeper dead on his feet. He kind of blasted it immediately, bottom corner. The goalkeeper didn't have time to move. I think he just fell over, actually, from watching the replay of the goal. He goes to move and then just decks it on the floor. But great finish in front of the travelling support as well, because the Leeds fans were behind the goal, so it's always nice to score down near the away fans.
And striker's finish, a proper finish, and seeing that, it's like something that we've been missing for so long. A striker up there who's just going to bang one in out of absolutely nowhere. Kemaru, if he kind of needs the ball to go to him, where, Patrick Bamford, it was a nice assist by Pablo Hernandez, but it came out of absolutely nowhere. Roof, if that was him in that position, probably would have taken a few touches and then had a shot. Patrick Bamford, striker's instinct, just have a shot at goal.
Yeah, it's we've been missing an option to give Roof a bit of competition for a while. I don't know who said it, but the other day, I think it was actually it was Joe Urquhart on the Phil Hay podcast. He essentially said that
Inside Elmo podcast, not Phil Hay podcast.
Oh yeah, Inside with Phil Hay and Joe Urquhart, but it was basically Pablo paying Patrick Bamford back for that assist in August when he nutmegged that defender from 20 yards to let it you remember Swansea away, the second equaliser when cracking goal. That
competition for places now with Bamford scoring.
It's nice to get someone injured, come back and not fall to pieces again. It's just because we're missing so many players at the moment. I mean, we're having to go to Aston Villa away with 2 recognised defenders in our team, and I say that because we're not going to play Applehelm. I'm almost certain we won't. We'll probably play Phillips in the middle, Shackleton on the right. Both of us.
Which is really annoying. I really want Helm to start. As a proper centre back, and I feel as though we're missing Phillips in midfield.
Yeah, with Tammy Abraham, we're going to need some aerial threat as well, because Abraham's he's like a lighthouse. We need someone who's also tall to kind of... An Applehelm dwarfs even Tammy Abraham, because I think Tammy Abraham's 6'2", whereas Applehelm's 6'5", so he's winning them aerial battles.
Yeah. But back onto strikers, competition places, which is always good. And Bielsa said it in his press conference after the game. We've got 2 good strikers now, which is great to have. We hadn't had that for a while. Kemar Roof, he'd have Tyler Roberts behind him, but that's not really competition. But now we've got proper competition, 2 good strikers.
Yeah, we've got 2. Tyler Roberts is always supposed to be kind of an understudy. He was joined the under-23s, eventually break his way into the team. Not to patronise or discredit him though, because he has got 3 goals and 1 assist in his. I think he got 6 appearances or 7 appearances. So it's good stats. That you can't knock his ability. I mean, his whole goal is probably his highlight, because that was when he banged it from about 25 yards at the bottom corner in another incredibly drab evening of football in East Yorkshire. I mean, as they always are in East Yorkshire, but we'll leave it to that.
Now, were you paying attention to the game at all against Bolton? Were you like eyes glued to the screen? Because I've got in my notes the next big thing that happened is the penalty shouts that happened in the last 10 minutes.
20 minutes later?
Yeah. I didn't really recall anything big happening. Do you?
It was just a bit drab. It was just bad weather, poor passes, kind of missing the link-up play. We were average in that game, and we made them look better than the absolute dross that they are without Amiobi in the team, because they are dross. Let's be fair, they were. They're
one of the worst sides in the division.
They were terrible.
They'll be going down. I reckon.
I mean, there's a big game down the bottom this weekend. It's Bolton Brentford. They're both down there. Whoever wins it might rescue their side from relegation. So that's a big one.
But it doesn't look good for Bolton though this season.
No, it doesn't, because I mean, they've got huge financial problems, and their owner should have sold up by now and given it to someone who could invest some money in the team, because the team is not good.
No, and they're not bad players who aren't getting paid as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You can't say the players aren't trying for them, because they are trying. The effort was there. No, they pressed us quite well, and they fired at higher balls. Their game plan was actually quite good.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely performing. You look at the Norwich game; they didn't get paid. Like the week before, but they still tried. They still tried to grind out a result.
Yeah, they didn't get pasted by Norwich, and they didn't get pasted by us. And we were both league leaders, both been league leaders in the last week. So they've competed at the top. What they've actually got to do is start beating the teams around them. If they can beat Ipswich and beat Rotherham and beat Brentford, they're going to have that'll be their chance of getting out of there.
But it doesn't look good for them, though. They definitely do need investment.
They're not going to get judged on whether or not they can beat Leeds United. No. They're going to get judged on whether they can beat Paul Warne's Rotherham.
Yeah,
let's be fair.
And stay up in the division.
Yeah.
But, it's the All Things Leeds podcast, not the All Things Bolton podcast. Yeah. Let's get back to the game against Bolton. So yeah, like I say, the big thing really that happened was within the last 10 minutes, a few penalty shouts for Bolton. First one was when Craig Noon, he tumbled over with Calvin Phillips in the box. No penalty given. I felt it was the right decision, really.
I saw a lot of Leeds fans saying it was a penalty as well, but from what I saw, I think it was Craig New one. He was already going down before there was any contact. There was contact, but it was mainly Phillips falling over.
Yeah,
Noon throwing himself to the floor.
Yeah, like Noon kind of like he came up behind Phillips. Phillips had no idea who were there. Phillips just going to the ball, and he just came in and just fell over Phillips.
Yeah, I felt it would have been a very soft penalty.
Yeah,
and the second one is ludicrous.
Yeah, well, so yeah, second one was about 5 minutes later. It was seconds after Jack Hobbs. He had a header cleared off the line by Barry Douglas. A lot of people saying nothing was cleared off the line, but it definitely was. Barry Douglas cleared Jack Hobbs' head off the line, but yeah, shouts for handball against Jamie Shackleton again. Probably
incredibly soft if that had been given.
Yeah,
his hand was by his side, and the ball gets blasted at him as well, so he's got no opportunity to move his hand. Yeah. His hand's about, I don't know, maybe 6 inches away from his thigh, and it bangs him on the wrist as it's hitting his stomach as well. I mean, I'm gesticulating, even though we're recording audio, but it's mainly for Ed's benefit and not yours. Yeah, it would have been an incredibly soft penalty to give that. I mean, I know they're desperate for points, and I know Phil Parkinson's trying to big up his CV before he heads over to Reading.
Yeah. I definitely feel as though the decisions would have been a bit harsh. So I feel as though the referee got them right. But of course, we held on 1-0 winners, picked up 3 points. 5 wins in a row now. First time we've done that since December 2009 when in League One under Simon Grayson. Speaking of Simon Grayson as well, by the way, he's on Netflix now. He's in a documentary about Sunderland.
It's well worth a watch. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I've watched it all. It's very good.
Yeah, actually, the last time we won 5 games in a row, I checked the stat the other day. At the time, it was second division, but it would be the same level as Championship is now. Was 1988-1989 season, which obviously the season before we went up to Division 1. So that was the last time we won 5 in a row in at this level. Obviously, League 1 is lesser opposition, so this is even more impressive, I think, than the Grayson achievement. I'm not knocking the Grayson achievement because that was a fairly crucial period where we really looked like we were going to achieve something.
Yeah, but it's a great watch, even if you don't like Sunderland. It's called Sunderland Till I Die, which is really annoying because every time I'm watching it, my dad's like, "Why are you watching Sunderland Till I Die?" But I'm a football fan, and it's just great. It's a great watch, great insight. And Simon Grayson,
I think he's one of the best managers we've had in the last 10 years, definitely.
He was a manager who at the forefront of our win at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
also our promotion.
Like him or hate him, it's probably him and Gary Monk that are probably up there for the best managers of the last 10 years. I mean, Monk definitely has his flaws, but he gave us a good season as well. But yeah, Grayson is probably gave us the best achievement in recent memory, getting promoted out of League 1. Yeah.
Now this podcast turned to be All Things Grayson Podcast. But yeah, so 1-0 win against Bolton, 5 wins in a row. First time we've done that since 2009, which is great stuff. We're in great form and great momentum going into the Villa game and the busy December period.
Here comes the storm. This is where we lose 5 on the bounce and we fall out of the top 2. No, that's just me being cynical as a Leeds fan.
Should have been a typical Leeds United fan there.
Yeah. You try not to get your hopes up because it just kills you inside when you do normally. But I'd like to think this season's different. I mean, I want to see the performances pick up a bit because I think we are getting slightly fortunate.
Yeah, I mean, the Bolton performance really wasn't good, and when we're going to Villa away this weekend,
we need to be better than that.
Yeah, if we perform like that, we're
going to get
hammered. We're going to get hammered. But yeah, so great form going into the December period, which is needed. And credit to the players as well, picking up that win away from home against a team that's struggling, like we say, Bolton, difficult weather conditions. So credit to the team, and it's probably a game that we would have lost a few years ago. Yeah,
I saw Adam Forshaw speaking to Bamford after the game, and Bamford said that Forshaw basically said last year we'd have drawn that game. At best, we'd have drawn that game. So to come away with 3 points, it's really important you beat the teams at the bottom of the league because that allows you to not perform at your best against some of the teams higher in the league. I mean, if you look at Sheffield United, they're still in the playoffs, despite the fact they haven't beaten anyone around them, purely because everyone below 10th place, Sheffield United, go to their ground and they beat them.
Yeah. But I mean, well, it's like, you need to beat the teams that you should be beating. So then when you go into the big games where you could drop points, then it won't matter because you've won all your other games, really.
Yeah, as I said, last 5 games we've won, so we can afford a draw at Villa, really. I mean, obviously...
I'd take a draw.
Yeah, everyone would love a draw because it's Villa Park and it's a tough game and Dean Smith and 100, probably about 60-70 million pound worth of talent in that team, whereas our team's probably worth about 25 maybe. So that they've got a much more expensive, and arguably that team is too good to be in the Championship. It's got some good players. They should be walking this league, but they're not because they had a very poor start under Steve Bruce. But yeah, I'd take a draw there. We need to go into it with no fear though. If we go into it playing poorly, playing conservatively, kind of passing it around the back four, they're going to pick us off and they're going to beat us. We need to play with a bit of purpose.
Yeah, so we need to pick up performance, but we carried the 5 wins in a row and the momentum, and we were discussing a few podcasts ago as well, was like, these 5 games that we've just had, we would have, taken 13 points from them, but we've taken 15, which is great to see. But, like I said, 5 wins in a row, great form, and we're top of the league as well. I haven't even mentioned that in this episode.
We're top of the league.
And it's, like I said, it's rated of the stars for us to finish 7th.
Yeah, oh God, it so is.
But yeah, top of the league, 1 point ahead of Norwich, 6 points ahead of 3rd, and then we're 10 points ahead of 7th. We're clawing away from it.
Why do I feel like these are stats we're going to be reeling off at the end of the season when we talk about how we didn't quite make it?
We were there at this point. No, it's just fell to pieces.
Yeah, like we always do. But yeah, it's incredible. It really is amazing what a run of form can do for you in this league. It can solve every problem.
Yeah.
Every off-the-field problem, every fan problem, every atmosphere problem. Well, not that we've had any at the moment, but it really does. Wins breed confidence in the fans, in the players. It gives you momentum. It's just brilliant. And 5 wins in a row doesn't come along very often, especially in this league, because it's so competitive.
Yeah, we mentioned it last week. 5 wins have come after that 4-1 defeat away at West Brom, and you're looking at that thinking, we just lost 4. We just got hammered away from home 4-1 against West Brom.
Beaten.
We're like 5th in the league. But then, who would have guessed it? We'd win our next 5 games, sit top of the league, and 6 points clear of 3rd. It's just madness, and you can't help but get carried away as well.
You try not to. Because it's the hope that kills you. It really is.
I saw a funny tweet a few days ago, and the guy was like, "Is anyone else scared of promotion? Are you scared of promotion? I am. The entire time I've been really interested in Leeds. We've not been in the Premier League. We've been out of the Premier League so long. I know our history. We've been out of the Premier League so long, and you see, it's just it'd be such a big difference and such a great difference as well being at Premier League.
I'm not scared of promotion. I'm scared of the promotion race. Like April onwards, I'm going to be on the edge of my seat. I'm going to be having nervous breakdowns and things, waiting for us to either confirm our I think it's our 15th consecutive season in the Championship, or to decide that we want to spend our centenary season in the Premier League.
Yeah,
which would be brilliant.
Yeah,
that would be a great start.
Yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, you can't help but get carried away. What's your plans if we do get promoted?
I think I might go renew my season ticket.
Renew my season ticket and go on I think the guy put in the tweet of like a 15-day bender or something.
I think that the city centre in Leeds is going to be absolute mayhem for at least a weekend. There's going to be, if you're running a bar and when Leeds get promoted, I kind of feel sorry for you, but I also don't, because you're going to make absolutely tons of money.
Yeah.
It's just going to go mental because we're desperate for this. We're not a Championship club. We're just not. We're too big to be in the Championship. Yeah. Arguably can say that Aston Villa are as well, but Aston Villa are our problem. We want to be up there, and we need to beat them if we're going to be up there.
Yeah, but it's great stuff, great form, 5 wins in a row, top of the league. What more could you ask for around the Christmas period? But let's now move on to the Leeds United U23s. Shock defeat on Monday against Barnsley at Ford Park. So we won't dwell on that too much. But Izzy Brown, he limped off injured. They're saying that it was just a precautionary move. Apparently he's got a tight hamstring. It's nothing to do with his knee. So hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, he tweeted after the game. He retweeted Phil Hayes' tweet and basically said that it's nothing serious. Because his tendons and his muscles are tighter than the average player, because he's not played that much football in the last 12 months. He's played almost no football in the last 12 months. So it's going to take time for him to get back up to be kind of athlete level fitness. But he'll probably just add on like an extra few days, maybe a week onto his recovery time, which is I don't think that's too much. It doesn't seem like anything serious. The club aren't worried. His knee appears to be fine. I mean, if he redoes his knee, then he's back to Chelsea. It's simple as that. There's nothing we can do for him because he just won't be back in time.
He just kind of feels sorry for Izzy Brown. You know, it's such a serious injury. He just seems to not have the best of luck really when it comes to injuries and his overall fitness. Really, you can't help but feel sorry for him. You know, I mean, hopefully we see him play for Leeds soon.
You'd like to think that he would have a starring role. I mean, I joked on Twitter the other day that he would recover in time for the final game of the season, score a 30-yard scream, which made Leeds win the league, and be worth his loan after all. But that's wishful thinking. I mean, you'd like to see him being in the squad and featuring in games from kind of mid to late January onwards. Really, you want to kind of see him back. But yeah, as long as he's recovering well, get his hamstring sorted. His knee appears to have pretty much fully healed. He just needs to get back to fitness, and the only way he can get back to fitness is playing games. So I'd expect him to, once he's recovered from his hamstring, to get a lot more under-23s time. Yeah. Maybe the odd sub-appearance if we're up 3-0 at half-time. He might just chuck him on, give him a bit of a run around, get him acclimatised back to the Championship. But other than that, I think it'll be mid-January, early February he'll be back.
Yeah, but Izzy Brown, hopefully he's fine. Hopefully he comes back soon. I tell you what though, you know, see with the impact with his injuries in under-23s, but also with the loss as well, 2-0 loss against Barnsley, it also shows as well. The under-23s is difficult to play in. And, a lot of people say, Bamford, he's scoring hat-tricks in under-23s, can do it at a senior level. But the under-23s is competitive.
Yeah, because you're allowed 3 players over the age of 23 in the under-23s, so you get quite a few senior players. I mean, Tom Heaton was playing in that Burnley game, and he's not under 23. You do get senior players in the under-23s trying to get back up to fitness or maintain fitness if they're not featuring regularly for the first team or if they're kind of bit-part players.
Yeah.
So it is competitive, and teams do want to win, and you always worry for senior players in there who are recovering from injury, because there's always some 19-year-old kid playing for Bristol City's under-23s who wants to prove himself and get into the senior team by putting in a really good performance and sliding through Leeds United's number 9, putting him out of commission for 4 months. Yeah. But it is competitive, and
it is tough, but it is good for when players are coming back and trying to get back match fit and get that competitive feeling back. But that's the under-23s, and hopefully Izzy Brown he is back sorted in a few weeks, hopefully. But I think with this injury as well, it's one that you need to be like, all right, let's not rush him back like we have with Bamford.
I think apart from maybe a broken back, it's probably the most possible kind of career-affecting injury you can have as a footballer is doing your ACL. It's always the one people say that lasts the longest, because it's ligament injuries are always the worst, aren't they? They always take the longest to heal. Muscle tears tend to be maybe a month or 2 maximum, but ligaments take months and months and months to heal.
Yeah.
But he's back now, so hopefully we'll see him playing for Leeds soon.
Yeah. But now it's time for this. Let's turn our attentions to the fixtures coming up over the Christmas period then, and the New Year as well. First of 3 games in 6 days. That's mental. It's this Sunday as Leeds travel to Villa Park to take on Aston Villa, so 1 PM kick-off live on Sky. Tough game, this one. Probably our toughest left of the 2018 calendar.
I would say so. I mean, Blackburn did beat us away, and Hull are on a bit of an upturn at form recently, but you'd always imagine Villa be your toughest battle, because they've got I think they've got a better squad than West Brom, personally. I think they've got the best squad in the league. Whether or not they can perform to that potential, hopefully they won't on Sunday. Hopefully they'll have an off day, but Dean Smith, he doesn't like us very much, and will want to put a performance in against Leeds, and he'll see it as the perfect opportunity to put their kind of possible automatics run back on track. Although I think automatics are gone for them now. I think
they'll be in if at playoffs.
I think playoffs they'll get there, but I don't think they'll get automatics.
Yeah. I mean, definitely a good team, but they're in 3 points off the playoffs, so they will want. They'll be well up for it and try to get the win to try and get their way into the playoff places.
Yeah, I think they'll replace Middlesbrough. I think Middlesbrough are falling like a skydiver strapped to an anvil at the moment. They're just losing games, conceding goals for fun. Yeah. They're not scoring anything because let's be honest. Tony Pulis is their manager. They're playing defensive football, but we're not. Enough about Middlesbrough anyway. The Villa are going to be a really, really tough test. And if Leeds are going to put a statement that we are here to win the league, a win at Villa Park, it doesn't really come much better than that.
Yeah, that'd be massive. But we say Leeds, we're in great form, but Villa are in good form too. Beaten in the last 7 games, but 3 of those were draws. One coming in the last game where they drew 2-2 at home to Stoke City. So not in as good a form as us, but it should be a good game to watch. Really,
they've scored 19 goals in the last 6 games.
5 of those come in
against Nottingham Forest,
5-0 draw.
But even so, yeah, they've conceded huge amounts of goals as well. So
yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what kind of Villa turn up.
I imagine the neutrals look Championship fan is looking forward to a cracker on Sunday. I hope it's a tedious 1-0 win for Leeds, but I can see it being a Desmond, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, on to Villa, I guess it depends what kind of Villa turn up. It's either they could concede a lot of goals or score a lot of goals, or both really. Yeah,
they're kind of free. They're kind of hell for leather, free flowing with their attacks. They kind of just go for it. They try to outscore their opposition. They don't really bother about defending because their back four's a bit patched together because they've got Alan Hutton at left back, who's a right back, and they've got James Chester who was out injured for a while, but he is a centre back, and Twanzebe, he's on loan from Man United. So it'd be nice for Bamford or Roof to skin him and stick one in the top corner. But yeah, they're back, and their goalkeeper is prone to mistakes. Nyland, he gets a lot of criticism. So if we can maybe go for a few long shots, I often think we don't go for enough long shots. We don't test the goalkeeper enough, and that is one of the problems with this Leeds team. I think with a Villa team that's conceding as many goals as they are, we need to go for it. We need to create chances, have a pop at Nyland. Maybe we can make a few runs into the box, maybe win a penalty. We need to go for as many chances as possible because they're not solid at the back. They are. You can get them.
Yeah, I'd agree with long shots, but you definitely have enough shots. You look at the stats. We dominate on all stats, really.
No, you say we don't get that huge amount on target, do we? A lot of them are
not a lot on target.
You get somewhere they're just blasted way over the bar or wide, or there's very few where we think genuinely. Like in the first half against Bolton, there was only really Klitsch's chance on the edge of the box and Hernandez's header in the early couple of minutes. That was it for the first half. That was it. I think we need to have a. I mean, I'd like to see Click having a few more punts from 20 or 30 yards. I mean, maybe the song has cursed him a little bit, but I'd like to see him bang one in front of the Leeds fans.
I think we all would. But yeah, our last trip to Villa Park, we lost 1-0. Last time we beat Villa, we haven't beaten Villa since 2016 when we beat them 2-0 at Ellen Road. Kemari again on the score sheet.
I was there for that game.
Yep, so was I. Streaker went on the pitch in that game, I remember that.
Yeah, that was very funny.
I think he did that for charity as well.
Kemaru's first goal for the club.
Yep, it was. But yeah, we lost against Villa in our last trip there. But would you take a point?
I would take a point. It's a tough game. We've struggled against them in the past. We don't have the greatest record against Aston Villa, mainly because we've had quite dire squads in recent years, and they've always had quite decent squads in recent years.
Yeah.
And but I think if we pick up anything from this game, they'll feel that they've sorely missed out, and we'll feel that it's not that big of a loss.
Yeah. I
mean, Norwich might go above us because they're going to Blackburn away.
But as long as we're in top 2, and if we get a draw, the unbeaten run continues. So
yeah, I mean, you'd like to see us go 6 in a row, though, wouldn't you? We all like a good long streak. But I'd take a point. I mean,
yeah, definitely. What are your predictions for that one?
2-2.
2-2. I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0.
I reckon it'll be a high scoring draw.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I'm going to go 1-0. But we'll get on to so the games after Christmas. So we play Blackburn Rovers at home on Wednesday. That's Boxing Day. And then Hull City at home on Saturday the 29th. Both games seem to be sold out as well, which is great news.
I tried to get a ticket for my mate and I couldn't get one.
Yeah, it been very difficult. On general sale would be very difficult. But yeah, it's 2 games that you expect 2 wins from, really.
Yeah, you say that. Yeah, Blackburn are a very inconsistent side. Some weeks they turn up and Danny Graham and Bradley Dack have a blinder, and some games they just look like I don't know, they just like Wigan. They just look average. And Hull, yeah, they were very poor early in the season, but they're on a huge upswing in form.
Yeah, they've climbed out in the relegation zone.
I think they've got 15 points in their last 8 games. So that's almost 2 points a game. That's playoff form. So
yeah, definitely not doing too bad at the moment. But you know, I want 6 points from them 2 games. You look at that and you think we
they're at home. We should be winning them games. We've got best home record in the league. I think we need to get a bit of revenge on Blackburn. We need to kind of confirm our place that we are going to win our home games. We are going to be up there. I mean, leagues are won and lost on home form. If you have good home form and okay away form, you tend to go up.
Yeah.
If you win your home games, draw your away games, you go up. If we get a draw against Villa and then go on to win them 2, I don't think any Leeds fan is going to enter the new year in a bad mood.
Yeah, I mean the sold-out home cards, they need to be well up for it. Of course, we lost against Blackburn 2-1 away early on in the season. That was dreadful. I went to that. It was awful. So hopefully we win this one, and then of course we beat Hull City 1-0 away from home early on in the season. A lot of teams have gone there and kind of struggled, so a good win there. Really.
We struggled a little bit.
Yeah, it was just an absolute brilliant strike from Tyler Roberts.
Yeah, but Barry Douglas should have scored in that first half. I think he missed from about 8 yards out.
Yeah,
with almost an open goal. I mean, I love Douglas, but he's missed a couple of chances this year that could have possibly made us a bit more comfortable or got us 3 points. I remember he missed that header from about 4 yards out against Wednesday that could have won us the game. But then again, he's contributed with a few assists, so you take the week with the chaff and you say that he's been a good signing. But yeah, you'd like to think we can put those 2 away.
Mm-hmm. Well, those are the Blackburn and Hull games. So Blackburn Boxing Day, Hull 29th, and I'm expecting 6 points from them. You'd think that we'd win them. On New Year's Day, January 1st, we play Nottingham Forest away from home. That's going to be a tough one. Nottingham Forest, they're a decent side.
They are. Well, you say they're a decent side. I mean, I didn't go to the home game because I was.
You missed that.
I was working.
Because we drew 1-1, Kamaru with the handball.
Yeah, I would love it if we won that game or drew that game through any kind of like really controversial decision, like a penalty won by just a really dodgy refereeing decision, or if someone punts it in with their hand, because you literally still get Nottingham Forest fans moaning about that. I mean, if you look at that game, they were dire. They were really poor. That was near the Blackburn game where we were just conceding set pieces for fun, and we conceded a set piece quite early on in the game, and then we dominated for 75 minutes. And to be honest, I think if Roof doesn't, from what I saw of that goal, Click hit it, and I think if Roof doesn't touch that still goes in. I think he nudges it in for no reason, but it's just funny that we got away with it.
But yeah, I mean, it will be a tough game. Forest, they're pushing for the playoffs. I tipped them to be, really, serious promotion contenders at the start of the season with the signings that they made. So
I did as well.
I'm surprised with where they are, but they're trying to push into playoffs. It's going to be a tough game. So again, would you take a draw here away at Forest?
I would. We don't have the greatest record down at the City Ground. It's a difficult place to go. But we won there last season, courtesy of a nice Alioski strike. But as rare as they are, but yeah, I'd like us to. No, I'd take a point, but I'd want the 3 points. There's no reason we can't go there and get 3 points.
Yeah.
I tip them for promotion in the season, but they've got Karanka's a very defensive manager, and they've got quite an attacking team. And the problem is when you get defensive managers, like if you look at Aston Villa, they've replaced Steve Bruce, a defensive manager, with Dean Smith, an attacking manager, and their performances have gone way up because they're an attacking team. I think if Forest had a different manager, they would be doing a lot better in the league. But as it is, they're a bit negative. They don't create that much. And
do you remember when we were linked with Karanka?
Well, yeah, but we've had a few defensive managers in recent years, haven't we? Monk's a very defensive manager. Yeah. The thing is, Monk and Karanka and Gary Rowett, they're all kind of duplicates of each other. They all play the same style. It's all let's go for the clean sheet and nick a goal if we can.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd definitely take a point in that. Now, we already touched on this game in previous episodes, but in case we don't get a podcast done before this game, QPR in the FA Cup, Sunday 6th of January, 2 p.m. kickoff. So I'm guessing it's on TV. I hadn't seen it, but
it is on TV.
BT Sport, I'm guessing.
Probably, yeah.
don't know why on earth you would want to you would choose to televise QPR versus Leeds United.
Well, they're televising Reading versus Manchester United, so I mean, there is very few good cup. Have you seen the cup ties? There's not many that's good.
No, there's not many, but I mean, surely QPR and Leeds.
I mean, the third round, you don't tend to get many good cup ties because they usually you end up with really good opposition against very poor opposition, so you don't really get good cup ties till about round 5. But
I'm surprised it's on TV. But Sunday the 6th, 2 p.m. kick-off that one. It's probably just BT Sport wanting to get Bielsa on TV when
it's our third round. It's our third cup game this season against Championship opposition. We literally cannot play someone in a different league. We had Preston, Bolton, and now QPR.
I really want a Premier League team. You know, we were saying it a few weeks ago. You know, we don't want a long cup run, but we want to get a few rounds and get drawn against a big Premier League team.
It made me laugh when they interviewed Adam Forshaw about the cup draw, and he basically just said, we play a lot of Championship games. It's just like he's not really bothered because we've played QPR already, and now we've got to play them again, and we've got to play them again because we've got to go down to their place.
Yeah.
It's just another Championship game. No one wants that.
No, you don't want it. You expect Bielsa to change the side there, which I guess it's useful because it gives players a chance to rest. But
you'd expect Jack Harrison and Tyler Roberts and the like to feature in that game.
Yeah, just give the kids a run out really and see what the players who make the bench see what they can do.
Yeah, see if anyone impresses, which hopefully they will. But I wouldn't be too gutted if we fell out of the cup in the third round. I mean, we're not going to win it, so
I'd want to win against QPR. You'd expect to win against QPR.
You would expect to win, but it's just more games, isn't it? You don't want to be playing more games than you have to. You don't want to be wasting fitness. You don't want to be in some weeks where you might have a possibility of 8 days rest, but now you've only got 4 days rest because you've got a cup game. You don't. It's.
I just want to keep in the tournament until we get a big Premier League team at home or away.
Yeah,
test ourselves there, and then I won't be bothered if we get knocked out.
You'd like a Spurs or a Man City or a Man United at home would be a good game. That'd be brilliant. But
I won't mind losing against Man City, but I don't want to lose against Man United.
No, you don't ever want to lose that.
Save that for Australia.
Old Trafford away would be good as well in the cup. That'd be good.
That'd be great. But I just want to, I'm not bothered about winning the FA Cup, but get a few rounds, get some games under, the players who are getting first team football in the Championship, give them game time, and get a big Premier League side and see where we are, where we stand, if we're going to get promoted this season. But that brings us to the end of episode 4 of the All Things Leeds podcast, the Christmas special. Nothing again really special about it. There was a bit of Christmas music earlier on, but it's the last one 2018 as well. But,
I know, good.
Yeah, we'll be back in 2019 though. But let me thank everyone for listening to this episode, and we wish everyone a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year as well.
Yep. all enzyme and all that.
Have a very good festive period. As well, thank you to Charles as well for joining me as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to you as well.
Yeah, you as well. I'd have a nice one. I mean, I'm going to enjoy mine.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy mine as well. And if Leeds United top at League on Christmas Day, I'm going to enjoy it even more. But remember to like and share and subscribe to the podcast and download it wherever you're listening. Whatever, just help us out really with this podcast. Follow All Things Leeds across social media. I'll be pumping out a load of content over the Christmas period with all the games that we've got, especially on the YouTube channel with match previews, match reports, etc. Also, let me say thank you again to Proper Sport for letting us use the studio, and don't forget to download Bielsa Rhapsody 99p on iTunes. Remember, great tune and all money goes towards the Forget Me Not Children's Hospice charity. So great cause, something to feel good about over Christmas. But yeah, have a great Christmas everyone, and we'll see you in the new year. Enjoy.